Hello, folks. Charlie Gibble here, the CEO of CG Financial Group. Who would have ever thought that in the 21st century or even the 20th century or the 19th century that we would be in a position to where it is not advised to leave your house, not advised to leave your yard or the confines of your neighborhood for fear of the worst type of enemy that there is, the invisible enemy, right? That enemy that you do not know is harming you when it's harming you. But that's a position we're in. Now, here's what I believe, however. I believe that a year from now, and as short as a year from now, and obviously this is just opinion, nobody knows anything about this, but I wholeheartedly believe, I have the opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion, that a year from now, and as short as a year from now, we will look back and say, wow, that was really, really bad. But you know what? We all are in a better position today as a result of that. Why? Because the government was maybe forced to do things that it did not do before, that maybe it didn't realize it should have done before until that pandemic happened. Or in your businesses, for instance, financial professionals. I work with a lot of financial professionals. There are financial professionals that didn't even know how to use a webcam before. And today, as we speak, they're talking with their clients on webcams. They're buying Yeti microphones. They're getting lighting for their offices, but Amazon won't deliver them anymore. But that's a different thing. We are getting stronger as we speak. We just do not realize it. Here's the thing. Right now, this uncertainty, you have millions of years of evolution going on in your brain, and it's driving all of us crazy, right? It's either fight or flight. I choose fight. And that is what we are helping our financial professionals with, is fight, because these types of environments are environments that can make millionaires and can make billionaires, right? So how do we do this? Let's step back to my dad. So my dad died at 62 years old back in 2006. He, for 50 years, the hardest working guy I've ever met, right? The toughest guy I ever met. Concrete construction, underground construction. He taught me and my brother work ethic. The summers after college, or between college years, that 3 months of pouring concrete, jackhammering, digging ditches, where my dad's in the backhoe making us get down in the ditches to lay the sewer lines, the water lines, those 3 months were the longest 50 years that I had ever experienced in my life. But anyway, picture him back if he were still alive. Picture him. Do you think he is somebody that's sitting in front of CNBC today, somebody that reads the Wall Street Journal, which I just threw away. I just threw away the Wall Street Journal, today's Wall Street Journal. Why is that? Because a lot like 2008, you cannot devour enough information fast enough in order to have that information be any good, because it's outdated the second that you read it. That was delivered to my house at 5 a.m. this morning. It's outdated. I haven't checked the market here recently, but it's probably 1,000 points, 1,500 points, 2,000 points different than what the Wall Street Journal indicated it was as of the close of business yesterday, right? You cannot devour enough information. Do you think that's my dad? Do you think a guy like my dad, who runs a small business and is now hearing about this $1.2 trillion stimulus thing, do you think somebody like my dad really understands the logistics of how all this is going to happen? Does he read the Wall Street Journal? No. Does he sit in front of CNBC? No. So who is it, as we talk about this stimulus package, which is completely different from 2008, 2009, where you had a couple of handfuls of big mega banks, the government drops money in there, and those mega banks trickle it down. This is completely different. We are talking about writing checks, the government writing checks. I don't even know if it's checks. I don't know. Directly to consumers. Nobody knows yet, unless it's come out within like the last hour, which it very well could have. $1.2 trillion direct checks to consumers or to business owners. Why? Because business owners, my dad, if he were still around, he would have customers saying, you know what, that new driveway that I needed, you don't need to come out and jackhammer up the old driveway and pour the old. I'm going to wait this out for a year or for 6 months or whatever. Restaurant owners, they don't have any employees or any customers and they're paying for food, right? Why? Because they're closed down. How are these restaurant owners going to make payroll? They have two choices, either to pay payroll or fire the employees. The government is saying, no, we want to support you. 99.9% of the businesses out there, we want to support you, which are the small business owners. But think about that. We're not talking about a couple handfuls of big banks. Logistically, how the heck is this going to work? And does somebody, small business owner like my dad, how does he navigate it? Does he go to his attorney? No, his attorney's not following this like you and I, the financial professionals. Does a CPA tell him? No, the CPA is probably not following this as much as you. let me ask you a question. Are you communicating to the Charlie Gipple seniors of the world that you are the nucleus of solving the problems when the government announces some of this stuff? Well, where does he or she go, right? So three different things. And the first thing is this, is number one, learn about everything that is coming out. How do you learn? You read, you watch webinars, you watch video conferences, which I'm doing a lot of, right? So you continue to stay abreast of this. Why? Because this, which is the pandemic, is top of mind, especially for small business owners, right? So you learn. By the way, tomorrow at 11 Central Time, which is Thursday, the 19th, 11 Central Time, I'm doing a coronavirus conference call. And it's not one of those, well, we commit to staying in business through this. It's not that. It is action items. It is you, the financial professional. Here are some ideas. Here's how you can talk with your consumers about this. Talk with your small business owners about that. There are a lot of avenues to, number one, learn. Continue to learn this because this is top of mind for consumers. Number two, communicate. Do your consumers, especially the small business owners. Now you need to do number one, you have to learn this stuff. You have to be abreast of it. To number two, communicate to them that you are that person, you are that nucleus, you are the nucleus of the solution or a part of the solution to the problem. You are one that would make it easier for them in navigating all this logistical stuff if they are subject to this stimulus that the government may give them. Do your consumers, especially small business owners, know this? Today on my Facebook page, I do a little bit of personal production. I posted, hey, I am staying abreast of this, and let me know if you're a small business owner, if you have questions as we go through this, although a lot is unknown right now. Number three, so number one, learn. Number two, communicate to your customers. Communicate, right? And then number three, we have, again, a million years of evolution going on in our brains, right? When I go out of the cave, into uncharted territories a million years ago, right? What happens to me? Well, I get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, right? So this uncertainty, this home bias that we have in our brains, which is we are leaving home now. We are in uncharted territories. You have two options when that saber-toothed tiger approaches you, right? You either fight that saber-toothed tiger or you flight that saber-toothed tiger. You either fight and you become better and you win, or you hunker up in a ball and you just hope to kind of weather the storm. I'm here to tell you that number one, fighting, which is adopting the webcam stuff. Get the lighting for your videos, buy a mic. And you don't need to spend a lot of money here, right? Brush up on things that you maybe did not brush up on. Subscribe to me on YouTube, Charlie Gipple out on YouTube. Learn things that you have not learned before, and I promise you will be off to the races as a result of what we are talking about today. So the third thing is fight. Do not flight. Number one, learn. And you can start by logging on to our video conference, me and my whiteboard tomorrow. Number two, communicate to your clients. And number three, fight. Don't flight. Charlie Gipple here, the CEO of CG Financial Group. Drop me a message if you want to join any of our conference calls as we go through this coronavirus challenge here. Charlie Gipple here. Have a good day.